In a small American town called Willowvale lived two young lovers, John and Emma. Emma was a beautiful and mysterious girl, and John was a brave and energetic guy. Both were residents of this quiet place where everyone knew each other, and each new day was similar to the previous one. One day, when the sun was already beginning to decline to the horizon, John suggested that Emma go for a walk in the forest that surrounded the city. Emma agreed with a smile on her face, and they went on their little adventure trip. As they explored the forest, their joy and fun began to fade. They noticed that everything became quiet and gloomy, as if nature was holding its breath. They decided to return, but they could not find their way back. The hours turned into long hours, and the night enveloped the forest with its black veil. John and Emma began to feel a strange presence, as if someone was watching them from the darkness. Rustles and whispers seemed to envelop them, causing a feeling of incomprehensible anxiety. Every minute the forest seemed more inhospitable and dangerous. John and Emma began to argue. Their nerves were strained to the limit. But when they tried to turn around and go back, they encountered a thick wall of fog that engulfed them. Their cries for help were silenced in this darkness, and they lost sight of each other. Darkness and cold enveloped them. And then they suddenly felt that they were standing still, unable to move. They were trapped, entangled in a network of invisible threads. Every step they took caused fear and despair. They kept moving forward, hoping to find a way out, but unimaginable things started happening around them. The trees groaned as if they had come to life and started calling their names. In the distance they could make out the dark outline of a house standing in the middle of the forest. The door creaked and swung open by itself, inviting them inside. It seemed to them that they could not resist this frightening magnetism. Once inside, they found that the house inside was much larger than it was visible from the outside. Endless corridors and rooms led nowhere, and every step they took seemed like an endless nightmare. The walls began to rustle as if they were breathing, and the air became denser and suffocatingly cold. Their screams turned out to be silent, as if the house was absorbing their sounds. In the rooms they saw flickering figures that disappeared instantly, leaving only traces of the wrong air and sinister laughter. Gradually, they began to lose their understanding of time and reality. Events began to intertwine, and they began to see memories that did not belong to them. Their own thoughts and ideas began to be distorted, and it seemed to them that they were losing their self. Their strength was leaving their bodies, and they felt fear take over them completely. John began to think that he could see Emma everywhere, but every time he tried